Hello and welcome to Channels Book Club. My name is Olakunle Kasumo. Always exciting to be on this show where we discuss books, and books. Now, if you were with us last week, you'll know that we started exploring this book, My Life of Duty and Allegiance by Yakubu Gowon. This is an important book. It doesn't matter whether you agree or you don't agree, whatever. I mean, we need books like this. Yakubu Gowon was the Nigerian leader during the Civil War in Nigeria between 1967 and 1970. There were two protagonists of that war, the Nigerian leader, Yakubu Gowon, and the Biafran leader, Emeka Ojukwu. For decades, we never saw any autobiography from either of them. Of course, Emeka Ojukwu is late now, but Yakubu Gowon is still kicking. Finally, he released his autobiography, and we are digging in. Last week, we explored the book, and there were a few comments from our guests about the integrity of the work, considering the fact that it has taken so long, before bringing it out and all that. It was interesting. Thank you for all the feedback we got from you out there. So many people were interested in the conversation and, messages and calls and all sorts of things. Well, we're still digging into this book, but not today, though. This is just making a few statements. Our guests, they are digging in like I am doing. Then when we meet again, perhaps the next or two episodes, we'll be able to talk a lot more authoritatively. I'm still reading. This is 853 pages. Whoa, you can imagine. Now, a few interesting things. One of the things I found here, it's interesting, is a story narrated by General Yakubu Gowon about how he was called into a meeting by Ojukwu, David Ejo, and Banjo. Now, the three of them called him to a meeting, and according to Yakubu Gowon in this book, the meeting sounded like they were thinking about dabbling into politics, almost like a coup d'etat meeting, sort of. At that time, there was a lot of tension between Zik and Balewa, or former Prime Minister Balewa, and so the three officers were talking about how the military should take a position in support of Zik in that particular scenario. And Yakubu Gowon said he was very uncomfortable with that conversation because it seems as if they were plotting, in quotes. What are we discussing here, gentlemen? He told them, and he warned them about the dangers of such a meeting. How could military officers be talking about intervention in politics? So he was very worried about that. Now, that story, as a reader, in my opinion, presented the first few cracks in the relationship between Yakubu Gowon and Ojukwu. There was an earlier one in which Yakubu Gowon had been made Adjutant General, and then Ojukwu had been made Quartermaster, and Ojukwu requested from Gowon that they swap roles, and Gowon refused. So what I'm reading here is build-up, some kind of build-up. I mean, he was describing their early relationship. They were both commissioned the same day, but initially a few things started to happen, like the two instances I just narrated now. For me as a reader, those described cracks to their personal relationship, which then, well, the rest is history, as we say. Well, I'm still digging in. I'll keep the gist coming in the next few episodes. But those were interesting stories. I had never read about those stories in other books about the Civil War. Never had any hint of those stories, especially the meeting in which, according to Gowon, the meeting that seemed like some kind of plot to intervene in politics. So many more stories like that in here. Like the pain he felt when he was betrayed during the 1976-75 coup that took him out of office. He's one of his most trusted lieutenants, Joe Garba. He trusted him. He was the head of his brigade of guards, who was the one who announced the takeover when he, Gowon, was in Kampala, Uganda. You know, he was in Kampala, Uganda when he was ousted, when he was removed as head of state and replaced by Muritala Mohammed, 1975. Well, here was his head of brigade of guards, whom he had trusted so much. I think they came from the same place even. You know how that is important in our politics. From the same place in Plateau State, you know, lieutenant, friend, trusted, and suddenly betrayed by him. You see that story here in this book. So many other stories like that. I will keep reading, and then we'll keep digging into it in the coming episodes. Well, let's leave my life of duty and allegiance for now. And what do we have today? Well, do you speak your local language? Do you speak your local language? Do you? A lot of people don't speak local. There are about over 7,000 languages in the world, and about a third of those languages are from here in Africa. Imagine. Just imagine that. Over 7,000 languages globally. About a third of them are spoken in Africa. But how many of us can speak our local languages? How many of us can read books written in our local languages? There is an organization called Room to Read that has embarked on this incredible project of translating books into local languages, just to be able to reach many children around the world, especially those who come from low-income areas and all that. They have collaborated with another organization that is sharing this vision and mission with them, Accessible Publishers, and they have been able to translate 25 books. I am so wowed by this. 25 books have been translated into Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. Just think about that for a minute. It's incredible. 25 books translated into Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba using language experts, local language experts who did the hard work of translating those books, and then those books have been shared in our communities. Well, there was an event in Ibadan in which this was announced, the new books unveiled, and this project just keeps growing. And we're always proud to support any initiative out there that is promoting literacy and literature and, of course, local languages. We're there. Enjoy this.
In 2025, Room to Read, a global non-profit organization dedicated to improving children's literacy and promoting gender equality, officially commenced operations in Nigeria through its partnership with Accessible Publishers, and they pioneered a national book adaptation initiative aimed at strengthening literacy outcomes among young learners and promoting indigenous languages among them. With Oyo and Osun states selected as pilot locations in Nigeria's southwest, the project has successfully translated 25 children's storybooks into the Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa languages within its first year of operation. This event marks a significant milestone in the Nigerian Literacy Book Adaptation Project, bringing together education stakeholders, policymakers, and literacy advocates for a book use training workshop designed to maximize the impact of these newly adapted learning resources.
This is more than a ceremony. It is a policy in action, partnership in motion, and a promise future.
When we started this journey last year, we believe that Nigerian children need to learn to read and write while developing their culture and habit of reading in their first language. There is evidence that children who learn to read in their mother tongue or their first language not only understand and enjoy what they read, but are also able to transition into learning other languages as well.
Today marks another significant milestone in our collective efforts to promote literacy, preserve our cultural heritage, and strengthen further foundational learning among our children through the use of indigenous languages. Language is more than a means of communication. It is the vehicle through which culture, values, history, and identity are transmitted from one generation to another. Research has consistently shown that children learn best when they are taught in a language they understand. Mother tongue-based education enhances comprehension. This promotes active participation and lays a solid foundation for lifelong learning.
Both of us are still amazed at the caliber of translators that we worked with last year. We have done this work across the continent, across other regions in Asia and all that, but we've never worked with a group of translators with the caliber that we got in Nigeria. In the beginning, we were like, how do we even deal with this? All of them are doctor, associate professor, and then us, we are there, but we are not there yet.
Today, what we are seeing here today is just the beginning. We are seeing Yoruba here today. We have the Hausa fashion ready. We have the Igbo fashion ready. So in a way, it's just a journey. This is just the beginning of the journey.
The Oyo and Osun State Universal Basic Education Board highlight the significance of the initiative and its potential to transform literacy development in both states by providing culturally relevant and linguistically accessible learning materials for children.
These days, people are coming to learn Yoruba language from China, from America, from different parts of the world. And I begin to tell people that we should encourage the use of mother tongue because we would want a situation whereby in years to come, Americans will be coming to come and be teaching our children Yoruba language.
On behalf of the Osun Super, we are going to take it serious. Though reading, as my Ogas rightly said, in Oyo State, we equally in Osun State, we have been doing this to ensure that our learners they are able to rewrite from their primary, especially at primary 3 level, they can read effectively. So we are working towards this in our state, and I believe this program too will equally engage us more to ensure that literacy is improved in our state.
The second phase of the event is the official flag-off of the workshop led by the Room to Read representatives.
Let me just first, on behalf of the Executive Secretary, appreciate Accessible Publishers and the Room to Read program for coming up with this. This collaboration is something that really will take us to the highest level of educational performance and positive learning outcomes. And it's something that is worth doing. Why? Because it is about foundational literacy.
As part of the project's next phase, a total of 25,000 copies of the Yoruba adapted storybooks will be distributed across 126 pilot schools in Oyo and Osun states, ensuring that thousands of children gain access to quality reading materials in their mother tongue.
What an incredible project. We need to keep supporting this, translating books into local languages, making sure that our languages don't go extinct. It is so important, so important. What an incredible project. Kudos to Room to Read, Accessible Publishers, and everybody involved in this, state governments, NERDC, and so many other, UBEC, and so many other institutions that are involved in this project, collaborating to make this happen. Well, we caught up with two gentlemen, one from South Africa, the other from Kenya. Fabulous gentlemen, I have to say, who are doing great things with Room to Read, just to discuss more about what Room to Read is trying to propagate, what this project is all about, and so much more. Enjoy this. Gentlemen, nice to have you here. Great to have you in Nigeria, and great to have you on the show. Ziki and Titus, nice to have you guys.
Thank you for having us.
It's great to have you. Ziki, you are from South Africa.
I'm from South Africa, but originally Zimbabwean.
Zimbabwean originally.
Yes, yeah, but living in South Africa.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
And Titus, you are Kenyan.
Yes, I'm Kenyan, born in the coast of Kenya, where Kiswahili originated from.
Oh. great.
So it originated in Tanzania and was killed in
Oh,
Kenya.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, but I live in Nairobi, Kenya.
In Nairobi, okay. Okay. So how did you link up? I know you are both with Room to Read.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know where the link up came from. The organization, of course, but
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a bit of a story behind it.
We really met
At Room to Read.
at Room to Read. Yeah.
And he joined earlier than me. That was
Right.
like 3 months before.
Yeah, 3 months before
Yeah.
you did, yeah.
Yeah.
But we were both under the literacy program, so we've been working together closely for more than a decade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's also a brotherhood that is
Interesting.
a reason, yes.
Have you gone to visit him in Kenya? Have you gone to visit him in South Africa?
Yes,
He knows my family.
Yes, I
I know
his
his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Incredible, incredible.
Then
Okay,
we do a lot of work together.
Mm.
So while he focuses on book publishing, and I focus a lot on classroom instruction and libraries, our work always intersects because he develops the materials that I end up using.
you see it in the classroom.
Yes.
Incredible.
So my portfolio is publishing,
Publishing.
and his portfolio is classroom instruction. Yeah,
Okay.
but they intersect, like you're saying, yeah.
I would like you to talk about Room to Read. What Room to Read is about and what it means to you. Before I ask you about the project that brought you to Nigeria, let me start with Titus.
So, been working for Room to Read now for over 10 years, as he said, and one of the reasons I've stayed this long is because Room to Read's approach to work is really different. Because the goal really is to transform the world. But how do we transform the world? We transform the world by educating children. And so literacy becomes the key thing there in terms of giving their children the power and the room to be able to really learn and thrive with dignity. So that in itself makes Room to Read really unique because you are developing skills as well as developing culture and habit of reading, which is really critical for the children's life. So it's made me stay on. All the other places I've worked, I've only done like 3-5 years. But Room to Read now, I'm going to 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Room to Read is mainly about education,
Yes.
literacy,
Yes.
the girl child.
The girl child, yeah. Yeah. Eradication of illiteracy and bringing about gender equity in education. Yeah, so there's a lot of value in the mission itself. And you tend to find that staff within Room to Read stay for long. Like we are speaking of a decade working together. Some of our colleagues have been with the organization for almost 2 decades. Because it's a very fulfilling work. When we visit schools and see children learning to read using our books, I always say we feel very humbled. You know, you see the direct impact of the work that you do every day. You know, in the children, they start to say, until you meet them again 2 years later, they can read fluently. So it's a very fulfilling. And that's why we stay for such
Okay, so right now you're in Nigeria. I would like you to share the project that has brought you to Nigeria. It's one that excites me because I think it has a lot of potential, not just in Nigeria but across the African continent. But I would like you to talk about this project that has brought you here to Nigeria now and the stage at which you are in.
So at its heart, this is a project that is meant to ensure that Nigerian children have got books that they can read for pleasure and for leisure in their mother tongue. We want to emphasize that in their mother tongue. Yeah, so we started with collecting books from all the other home-to-read countries, which were then contextualized for Nigeria, the books that will be distributed to schools in Oyo and Oshun this time around. But our long-term aim is to create original Nigerian stories in mother tongue that Nigerian children can read for pleasure and leisure. I want to emphasize pleasure and leisure because these are not textbooks that we are producing. It's not really for strictly classroom instruction. It's really to try and develop the love of reading, the love of books in our children and create lifelong readers. Yes.
So you are basically trying to get Nigerian books written in Nigerian languages for Nigerian children.
Yes.
Is that what it's about?
Absolutely, yeah, because we also want to ensure that Nigerian kids actually experiencing stories written from the perspective of other Nigerians. There's a concept within literature called counter storytelling, where you are telling story from the perspective of those who have been marginalized, for example. And so we want children to hear stories that are authentically Nigerian, authentic with the culture, with the traditions, with the current situations and the context. So that's one of our long-term goals. So now we have these 25 titles in the 3 languages, in Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba.
25 titles?
Yes.
25 titles.
Yes. But our hope is beyond that now, beyond the contextualization of these 25, we can now bring together creatives, bring together Nigerian authors. And Nigeria is known for some of the great storytellers we know in the world, really. So we bring some authors, train them so that they write from their own perspectives. We get some Nigerian illustrators, also have them draw, illustrate for these stories, and then get editors from here. So that is the goal, really. We want to catalyze the publishing ecosystem as well. So it's not just about the books, it's about the whole publishing landscape as well.
Yeah.
How are you executing this? Because I reckon it requires collaboration with local partners. This specific project where you've done 25 books, translated to Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. How have you gone about this in terms of collaboration?
So we began the process by talking to different publishers within Nigeria, and finally we got one publisher, Access Book Publishers, who we chose to partner with for this specific project. What we did is, after we got that, we got a group of experts. Most of them, I think all of them, actual professors in different universities across Nigeria, which was baffling for us. It was the first time we were running a workshop where you are training professors and doctors. so we trained them on book selection, so created some criteria on what makes an excellent children's book. Out of that criteria, we selected books and curated a good amount of books, and then we had them trained on the concept of versioning, which is a form of meaning-based translation, and looking at the context. And so we trained them, and they translated these books into the 3 languages again. And after that, now the next process was now the development and publishing of those books, which we have seen the product this morning. Excellent materials, both in terms of quality and really, really amazing materials.
Yeah, I'm thinking we should have brought some copies to show your viewers the excellent books that.
Quite excellent work done.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for having us.
We appreciate
really
it.
Pleasure having us.
Thank you very
We
much.
look forward to more collaboration, and I'm looking forward to see how we can expand this work to maybe the 9 regional languages and even more within Nigeria. Because if you are doing work everywhere else and not in Nigeria, then you haven't fully touched the continent.
Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for everything.
Thank you very much, sir, for
Enjoy
having
the
us
rest
here.
of your stay.
Okay.
The rest of your stay in Nigeria.
Yeah, we are here for 2 weeks. So, yeah.
I'm enjoying the pepper soups.
Organizations like Room to Read and others are so important. Quietly just pushing literacy and education around the world. Kudos. Well, this is where we have to end the show today. As always, we'll be delighted to get your feedback through any of our social media platforms described on your screen. My name is Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life.